Hey guys, this is Ian with CrossFit Littleton. Today we're going to go over going overhead with a load. We're going to use the barbell and 3 basic barbell movements to kind of go over some techniques and talk about going overhead with a load in general. Those barbell movements and the principles of taking the bar overhead will carry over to things like kettlebells and things like that. One of the reasons that I wanted to do a series on this and some basic concepts of going overhead is that I think it's one of the biggest problems that we see across a wide range of clients. Going overhead can really be a train wreck for a lot of people, and when I don't go overhead properly and when I do it repetitively, day after day, month after month, year after year, I'm really subjecting myself to a lot of stress in the low back in particular, and you know, you'll inadvertently get into this position when either you're restricted overhead or you just simply don't understand how to reproduce the correct mechanics to go overhead. So I would say it's one of the biggest problems that we see in CrossFitters, and I wanted to just take a few minutes and address the general concepts of going overhead, and then as they pertain to first the press, then the push press, and then the push jerk. One thing is mobility. I got a lot of clients, myself included, that are very tight overhead, and some of them it's not appropriate to go overhead, certainly with a barbell and in some different fashions, and so we have to concede that. If I'm just generally tighter going overhead, then I need to take it upon myself to spend extra time mobilizing and opening that up, just as a rule, or before the workout. And I just can't stress how important this is. I've spent years training myself, not addressing it enough, and I can really feel the results in my low back, and I've had some issues with that. So mobility is one thing, and it must be addressed, and it must be addressed diligently. And then just understanding when you should not be doing a movement at all, and then your coach should give you some alternatives to building upper body strength. So you need to be able to sort that out. In terms of the mechanics of going overhead, just generally, I just wanted to mention that really what we're trying to do is create this 90-degree line of force with the ground. The pipe being your body, and the pipe also being the line of force from the top of the barbell, or from the profile of the barbell here, running at 90 degrees, grounding out nicely on the floor or through the floor, and the pipe is also illustrating a stabilized neutral midline. And what we see so often when people go overhead in the press or the push press or the push jerk is a deviation from this 90-degree angle of force, and they will buckle. Immediately here my midline is not stabilized, a lot of pressure on the low back, and it's kind of the equivalent to this pipe turning into, you know, kind of like a wavy noodle. And in the press and in the push press and the hips forward and the knees forward, we see this all the time, and it's just really bad. So I wanted to bring that up and just say that the goal of all of these mechanics in the press, push press, and any form of jerking is to really take a position like this and regain that midline stabilization, regain that 90-degree line of force with the ground, and continue that all the way to extension through the overhead position and through the barbell. So that's what these 3 pieces are going to be about. Check out the next video, and we're going to start with the press. All right, thanks guys.